Heyo, Voivod here, with some ideas on how to run Spelljammer combat in your D&D 5e campaign. The latest release from WotC, Spelljammer Adventures in Space, introduces spaceships and space combat, and I'll be showing you how I do it in Foundry Virtual Tabletop today. Let's get over there and take a look. Alright, so here we are out in wild space, and the first thing I'm going to tell you is that you're going to need a big map. This map is 20,000 by 20,000 pixels. It's big enough that there is no way it can zoom out and fit the whole screen. And you need a map that big because Spelljammer combats, according to the book, take place anywhere from starting distances of 250 feet to 1,000 feet. And this map is just large enough that with the ships at the edge, they're almost 1,000 feet apart. To give you an idea of the scale, here is one lonely city guard adrift in space. I'm feeling bad for him, so I'm going to drop a ship in. That's the Star Moth. And you can see with both of them as tokens, you can move freely around the deck. You can have your players climb out to the mangonel on top of the wings and take their shots and all that good stuff. You probably want to hide anybody who's inside, but you can also pop maps into the corners like I did with this one. So this is a damselfly ship, which can likewise be used in combat. And the way I handle it is, for the most part, nobody's going to be inside except for probably the Spelljammer. So let me find a proper sized thing. Let's say your blink dog's driving your ship sitting up in the helm. Now I pulled these sheets from the books. I used a cell phone camera that could scan documents to get them in as good a shape as possible, but you'll see I don't quite have them fitting the grid. And I'm not sure that's super necessary anyways, as long as we have a relative idea of the position within the ship and what it'll take to either get out if you're inside, or if you're boarding the ship and trying to kill the Spelljammer, to get inside and take care of that. And so our blink dog can move up the stairs over here, and at that point we'll transition him to the outside of the ship where he can run the mangonel or climb out on the wings and maybe attempt to kill this. Oops, I lost my guard. This guard who is on his Spelljammer ship. So the map, again, 20,000 by 20,000 pixels. The background, that's a NASA image I pulled, which I think looks great. Some of them are a little bit too busy and make it hard for your players to see, so just be aware. You don't want, for instance, I used the deep field image, which was real busy with lots of stars and galaxies and other bright objects, and it was just impossible for my players to get a good grip on what was going on. Second thing you'll need is some deck tokens, and if you hit my website, www.dungeonsports.com up, you can go ahead and grab those. I've got them there for free. Feel free to take them and use them. And I mean, I think it makes a big difference. You can rotate these. As you do, you're going to need to be a little bit approximate, but, you know, it's still gridded out, so 5 feet of movement is still 5 feet of movement. And it really gets you that feel for two giant ships just engaging in a scrap in space. Go ahead, and if you want, you can use, standard size tokens. Not like that one, but more like this one. But the thing is, once you get close and try to initiate a boarding action or ship-to-ship combat, it's going to get really hard to keep track of who's where on a boat if you're trying to switch back and forth between things at one scale here and another scale on a map of the ship. So it really simplifies and smooths things along to have everything at the same scale. So the map, as you saw it there, was 20,000 by 20,000 pixels. As I said, that gives you enough range to start combats at the full recommended distance. And you also don't want to go much past that because Spelljammer vessels are incredibly slow. as written, and it takes a long time to get from 1,000 feet up to boarding range, or even, a reasonable combat range for Ballista and Mangonel. In the meantime, why not visit my blog and pick up some of these ships for your use on the virtual tabletop? I've got all the published ones currently from Dungeons & Dragons, and I'm starting to work on a few of my own originals. Thanks for watching and have a great day.